VC, how's it going? Right, okay, quick vinyl update. This is stuff that I've been buying over the last few weeks. First up, this is the Rhythm Makers, Soul on Your Side. This is an album that I've been after for a long time. I won't use the word grail, but you know, we're pushing that. This is, I've bid on this several times on eBay. Always got outbid, mainly because I never ever bid enough. I'm quite tight when it comes to these sort of online auction sites, but I found this in a record shop down in Cardiff in Wales. My wife's family are from that neck of the woods, so I certainly get down there once a year. The shop is Kelly's Records, which is it's almost in an indoor market type scenario, but it's well established. It's been there for years, and there's always interesting stuff there. Prices are fair as well. This was actually priced up a bit higher than what I paid for it. I had a price in my mind what I was happy with, and when I said to the guy that I wanted to buy it but I didn't want to pay his price, he knocked it down and came in bang on the figure that I wanted to pay. So that was really cool. Absolutely mint condition. As you can see, it's still in shrink. 1976 on the Vigor label. If you don't know the record, it's got a bit of a feel. It's certainly of its time. That mid-70s soul sound, not quite disco. If you like the early to mid-70s Isley Brothers records, then this is for you. So yeah, very cool. Right, actually I was thinking the other day about, I've been watching a lot of VC videos recently, all different types of styles and also different types of music shown in various videos. Yeah, and I've been really enjoying it. The stuff that I really like, I like to see what people are listening to at the minute and what they've been buying, and I like to hear about where they've picked them up from. I've always had a bit of a thing about record shops, and it's really nice hearing about stores from all over the world, you know. So that's my personal sort of favourite type of VC video, but there you go. Right, this is something that I bought off eBay. This is the JBs. These are the JBs. Now, this was an unreleased JBs album. This actually came out in 2015 on Now Again Records. Now, this is the great band that did Sex Machine and Soul Power. This is the band that replaced the James Brown Orchestra. So it features Bootsy Collins on bass, obviously, Catfish Collins on guitar. An absolutely fantastic band. This was recorded with the intention of being put out as a live album. I think that James Brown changed record labels around that sort of time, so it sort of got lost in the changeover. And how it's come out now, or it came out in 2015, so it came out a couple of years ago. It's basically down to somebody buying a white label test pressing on eBay, not really knowing what it was, and when they got it, they realised that it was an unreleased record by this band. So absolutely fantastic. You know what you're getting. It's just out and out fun. Right, okay. This is a band that I saw live last October. They were supporting the Pretenders. They're called The Rails. The album's called There Are Other People in This World, Not Just You. It's a very Smiths title, isn't it? Yeah, so it's got a bit of a folk feel to it, as well as being a bit country in places. The band are based around the duo of Cammy Thompson and James Wellborn. Now, Cammy Thompson is the daughter of Linda Thompson, so that explains the folk feel. The album was recorded in Nashville, so obviously it's going to have a bit of a country influence on it as well. I was really impressed when I saw them live. The venue that I saw them was Birmingham Symphony Hall, so it's a sort of 2,000-seater venue. I'd very much like to see them in a smaller place, a bit more of an intimate setting. Their harmonies were extraordinary, so yeah, great stuff. Yeah, worth checking out. A friend of mine, he owns a record shop locally. A couple of years ago, when their debut album came out, this is their second record, he was banging on about it, saying it was his favourite record of the year, and he said that to me. And shame on me, because I did absolutely nothing about it. I didn't go and check it out at all. So I sort of finally got there. So got there on their second album. So cool. Right, okay. A band that I really liked in the late 90s, early 2000s were Rilo Kiley, sort of an American sort of college indie band. That's probably a fair description. I really like their stuff. I felt they should have been bigger in the UK than they were. I don't think they're particularly well marketed. Their lead singer Jenny Lewis has gone on to make several solo albums, all of which are pretty good. The last album, though, I was a little bit disappointed with. It was a little bit too polished. It felt like somebody looking for a hit record. Whereas her new project, as you can see by the title of this band, it's not necessarily, you know, going for a #1 single. I won't say the name because this is a family show, but yeah. So for today's purposes, we'll call the band NAF. I wasn't going to buy this. It hasn't actually come out in the UK. I've had to buy it off the website in the States, but glad I did. It's basically 9 tracks. It's a 3-piece band, all-female band. Bass, drums and vocals with occasional keyboards here and there. There's not a guitar on this album at all, so that gives it a really interesting slant. Great pop songs again from her, which is what you'd expect. Say 9 tracks, doesn't outstay its welcome. Would definitely recommend it if that's your thing. Right, okay, something a little bit different. This is an album that came out a few years ago on Daptone. This is the Como Mamas. Now this is an a cappella gospel record. I think it was actually recorded in a church, certainly in Tennessee. Yeah, this is a lovely record. I mean, it's a cliche, but Sunday morning music. The really nice thing about this record is that they're clearly untrained voices. You know, I find that with a lot of modern vocalists, you've got sort of obvious affectations in their voices. You know, you listen to anybody that's been on X Factor or anything like that. They've all been to the sort of Mariah Carey school of singing, which I don't have a problem with, but it just makes everything the same. Whereas these voices are just very raw, very real, and it's a lovely record. They made a second record as well, which I think came out last year, so this is a few years old now, but very cool. Right, okay, another eBay purchase. This is an album that came out, it's a reissue from last year. I think the album originally came out in the early 70s. This is the Shango Dance Band. It's an Afrobeat record. The first track is the first side is just taken up by 1 track, Position Past Power, and there's 2 tracks on the B side. It is very much that drawn out, sort of hypnotic Afrobeat sound, which I absolutely love. I mean, I started off listening to funk for that reason, and then got into jazz with those long drawn out grooves as well, and I made my way to Afrobeat, and yeah, absolutely stunning stuff. There is a connection with Fela with this musician. I'm not sure what it is, but when I read the bump at the time, I say it came out I think last June it originally came out, and I pre-ordered this record through one of the UK stores, and it never materialised. It was meant to come with a 45 as well. When I've ordered this off eBay, this only cost me a tenner or something now. Got it sort of half price. It didn't have the 45. Looking on Discogs, I can't see that any of the copies eventually came with the 45. So if anybody knows different, then let me know. But yeah, a really nice record. If you like Afrobeat, very cool. Right, okay. A couple more to show. Now this is an album. It's a compilation. Hammad, Kalakbar, and the Golden Sounds. Another African record. This is a West African record out on the Analog Africa label. Now that's a label that I will buy anything they put out. The quality of their stuff is excellent. A little bit like Numero. You know what you're getting. The packaging is excellent. The liner notes are excellent. It comes with a separate booklet just explaining the history of the artist. This contains 6 tracks, which were split over 3 45s, I think, originally. Now this is, I know a lot of people have an issue with modern reissues and such like, and compilations. This is music I would never ever have heard if I was relying on finding an original record. From what I understand, it's taken the label years to find all 3 recordings. So yeah, but lovely stuff. Once again, I say anything on Analog Africa is worth picking up. And finally, this is something that a mate of mine gave me for Christmas, just as a bit of a joke, but yeah, this is Colonel Abraham's his debut album featuring Trapped and The Truth. I loved Trapped when it came out. You know, I'm pretty sure if you've seen my videos, I like that sort of music. I'd never heard the album. I think he paid £1 for this from a charity shop and wrapped it up and gave me as a present as a laugh. But I've played this quite a lot. This is really good. Unfortunately, he passed away a couple of years ago, the Colonel. But you know what you're getting. Anyway, cheers.